Croeso up to the Halloween PSN sale. This isn't a big sale, and there's not a huge amount of games that are worth buying, but good news, I found some really good ones, and they're on a really good sale as well. So don't forget to subscribe if you like finding cool games to play, and saving a lot of money as well. You're welcome here anytime. This sale ends on the 1st of November, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up is A Chair in a Room, Green Water. It was released in 2019, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £5.39, which is pretty good. This VR horror game supports Move controllers, so if you have them, you can use them, but if you don't need them, which is pretty cool. In this game, you get to experience an eerie and atmospheric thriller that immerses you in your own horror story, solving clues and puzzles through flashbacks and memories in a number of different locations, in order to reveal why you have awoken in the sinister Greenwater Institute in the first place. Now, there's a lot of VR games that do horror because, quite honestly, it's cheap and easy a lot of the time, so they're just cashing in. But this is actually different. It's nice to see something with a story and with a bit of effort put in as well. It's got really good reviews and it seems pretty good. VR horror may not be my thing because, it's actually scary in VR. But if you like that sort of thing, why not take a look at this game? It looks really good and it's at a pretty decent price. Check it out. And hey, if you've never played a VR horror game before, then this might be a good place to start. You can get some others cheaper, but a lot of them are cheap cash-ins and may not be as good as this game. So if you like the look of it, definitely check it out. It's well worth taking a look at. Among the Sleep Enhanced Edition is our next game. It was released in 2015, so it's 8 years old, and is on at least an 80% discount for the price of £2.39 or £1.19 with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and an awesome deal for a game that was really well reviewed. And this edition includes improved graphics, gameplay, new dialogue, level, and digital art book, soundtrack, and more. So you're getting the best version of the game, with some cool extras included as well, which is great. In this horror game, you get to experience the world through the eyes of a 2-year-old child, with a vivid imagination that could easily scare your pants off, as you re-experience this world of childhood fears. This was a pretty big game when it came out. A lot of streamers played it, and it was really popular if you're into social media and that sort of thing. It was played a lot by influencers and that sort of thing. And although it's a horror, it's more like an adventure game as well. It's scary, but it's also actually pretty good. If you're interested in adventure horror games, and you like games with a cool story and a bit of a twist, then definitely check this out. It's really different and unique, and I think you'll really enjoy it. It's definitely worth looking at. And hey, if you've never played a horror game like this before, then this is a really good place to start. It's a really well reviewed one, it's got a cool story, it's really cheap, and it's well thought of as well, so you can't ask for much more really. If you're interested, definitely take a look at this one. It might be the best place for you to start in this genre. We have a trilogy next, Batman Arkham Collection. It was released in 2018, so it's 5 years old, although some of the games are older than that really, and it's on an 84% discount for the price of £7.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a fantastic deal for 3 AAA games of this quality. It's a really good deal, as this collection includes 3 AAA Batman games, Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, including all of the DLCs, and 1 and 2 are remastered as well, so you're getting the best versions of all of the games, with all of the DLC included as well, which is a massive amount of extra content. It's well worth it. In these third-person action games, you get to play as the Dark Knight, fighting a host of classic villains across 3 full AAA games set in Arkham Asylum and Gotham City. It features tons of Batman gadgets and vehicles, with an awesome combat system and a great story as well. These games are massively popular, and not just because they're Batman games, but because they're genuinely good games as well. If you're a fan of Batman and you haven't played these, you should do yourself a favour and definitely check them out. And if you're not a fan of Batman, these are still really good third-person action games. So as long as you don't hate Batman, you should probably check these out. If you're in any way interested, why not take a look? They're a really good trilogy at a really good price. You can't ask for much more really. And hey, if you've never played a third-person action game before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend starting here. They're amazing and they're a really good deal, but there's 3 of them. So if you end up not liking them, you're stuck with 3 games you're never going to play. But hey, if you're feeling risky, then why not take a look at them? They're well worth your time and money, so you'll probably enjoy them if you've got any interest in them. Check them out. Our next game is Blair Witch. It was released in 2019, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of $4.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal. In this survival horror, a young boy has disappeared in the Black Hills forest of Burkesville, Maryland, and as a former police officer with a troubled past, you must take your dog and join in the search for him. But the ordinary investigation soon turns into an endless nightmare. This game is made by the Layers of Fear team with an original story inspired by the movie, so the studio's got pedigree, they make some really good games, and it's a pretty popular franchise, or it was back in the day anyway. So if you're a fan of that team, or survival horrors, and especially if you like the Blair Witch, then you should definitely check this out. You'll probably really enjoy it. And if you're not a fan of the Blair Witch, then you'll probably enjoy it anyway. As long as you like survival horrors, it looks like a pretty good game, so why not take a look at it? Just be careful which version you pick up, because the deluxe edition is on sale, and the only difference is it includes the soundtrack and an art book, so if you don't care about that, save the money and get the normal version. I wouldn't bother with the deluxe one myself. And hey, if you've never played a survival horror before, then this is a pretty good one, although you could get other AAA ones at the same price or lower as well, so it's up to you really. If you really like the Blair Witch, you might want to check this out. But if not, you've got plenty of options, so don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss the others when they come on sale. And don't forget, there's a VR version as well, so if you'd rather have that one, then don't pick this up, wait for the VR version to come on sale instead. We have a VR game next, Killing Floor Incursion. It was released in 2018, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £4.79, which is the cheapest I've ever seen, and a pretty good deal for a VR game of this quality. This VR first-person shooter requires Move controllers, so if you don't have them, you can't play them, which is great. First-person shooters in VR are always so much better when they have Move controller support, or even better, aim controller support. This game is made especially for VR, and the story-driven campaign lets you uncover Horzine's true intentions as you battle horrible monsters with an arsenal of varied weaponry. It features co-op, hold out endless mode, and melee weapons as well, which is always more fun in VR. It's so cool knocking people's heads off and stuff. It's great. It's really good that they included it. Now, I'm not a fan of the Killing Floor games, but hey, they're really popular for a reason. They've been around a while, and people seem to really love them. So if you've got a PSVR 1, and you want a really violent and gory VR FPS, or you're a fan of the Killing Floor series, then definitely take a look at this game. It looks like a really good quality one from a great studio. Why not take a look? And hey, if you've never played a VR FPS before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend this one. It's a pretty good one, but hey, it's very gory and it's got a lot of blood and guts in it. And the enemies in general are pretty scary, so if you're not a fan of horror themes in your VR shooters, then pick another game instead. And even if you do like horror in your shooters, there are other VR ones as well, like the Doom series, so you've got plenty of options in this genre. So subscribe, and whatever you decide, I'll help you find them when they're on sale next. Next up, we have Labyrinth of Reckoning, Coven of Dusk. It was released in 2018, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £11.24, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and an okay deal, especially for an anime game. They're usually pretty expensive. This dungeon crawler is from the creators of Disgaea, where you get to play as the living book of the Dusk Witch Dronia, and assemble an army of up to 40 customizable puppet soldiers to destroy evil monsters and conquer the labyrinth beneath the city of Refrain. Now, this genre is pretty niche. They don't make a lot of dungeon crawlers anymore, and most of them are either indie games or Japan-only releases or imports, like this game. But if you're a fan of this old school genre, this looks like a pretty good one. As long as you're okay with the anime theme, then you might really enjoy it. So if you like the sound of that, definitely take a look at it. There's not a lot of this genre around these days, so it's worth checking them out when they come on sale. And hey, if you've never played a dungeon crawler before, then I'm not sure I'd recommend one. They're pretty niche and old school, so you should check out what they're like to play before you think about picking one up. But if you're interested in the genre, this one's a bit pricey. You can get other ones way cheaper, especially the indie games, so you're much better off subscribing, and then I'll let you know when they're on sale next. And the final game I have for you is my star buy, Lost in Random. It was released in 2021, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £2.49, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a fantastic deal for a really cool looking game. And this game even includes the PS4 and the PS5 version as well, so it doesn't matter which you pick up, you get both, which is great. In this adventure game, the world of Random is ruled by an evil queen and her cursed black dice, where you play as Even, a penniless girl who teams up with a living dice to try and rescue her kidnapped sister from the evil queen. I'm surprised I don't know more about this game or hear more about it, because it looks really cool. It's got really good reviews, the theme looks interesting, it's very Tim Burton-esque. It's just really unusual to see dark and interesting games like this, with a pretty cool story. It kinda reminds me of that Alice in Wonderland series that was around a while back. But in any case, if you're interested in adventure games with really cool looking aesthetics, definitely check this out. Like I said, it's my star buy, it's well worth your time and money. I might even pick it up myself at this price. And hey, if you've never played an adventure game before, then I would definitely recommend this one. As long as you've got nothing against the Tim Burton-esque theme, it looks like a really good game with a pretty interesting story, and my gut feeling just says it's worth playing. You can get some other adventure games around the same price, but not AAA ones usually, so it is a great deal. If you're tempted, definitely take a look. Like I said, it's my star buy, it's well worth looking at. And that's all the games I have for the Halloween PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it, or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your complaints down in the comments, and we can talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you guys found some games you're interested in. But more importantly, I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale, enjoy your Halloween, and stay safe. Hoil Vour.